President Trump won a major victory at the Supreme Court yesterday. The court upheld most of the president's travel ban, and it ruled that churches have equal rights to government money.
The court is also going to take up another important case this fall involving a Christian baker who didn't want to bake a cake for a same-sex wedding. Jennifer Wishon brings us the story from Washington.
A triumph for President Donald Trump. In a matter of hours, he can implement his executive order on immigration, 5 months after he signed his name to it. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear his appeal of the so-called travel ban after a number of federal courts blocked it. The court is also allowing the administration to implement most of its 90-day ban on travelers from 6 Muslim-majority countries that the Trump administration believes pose potential terrorism threats to America's security, overturning the lower courts that blocked it. This is a huge victory for President Trump. It's the first legal validation of his controversial executive order since he signed it just 1 week into his presidency. In a statement, he says, "As president, I cannot allow people into our country who want to do us harm. The ruling allows me to use an important tool for protecting our nation's homeland." The court order does allow travelers with a credible claim of a relationship with a person in the U.S. to come into the country.
Fair play won today.
The Supreme Court also delivered a victory for religious liberty. The court ruled 7-2 in favor of Trinity Lutheran Church in Missouri. The church applied for a grant the state was offering to nonprofits to install a safer rubber surface on their playgrounds. Missouri denied the grant to the church because it's a religious institution, insisting it shouldn't get money from the state. The Supreme Court reversed the decision, calling it odious to our Constitution.
Believers, like all people, want equality. And that's what this court decision has given us today, is that when the government creates a program, religious people can't be told to stay outside, that we're second-class citizens.
It was the first religious rights case heard by Justice Neil Gorsuch. In a separate opinion, Gorsuch, joined by Justice Clarence Thomas, clarified that the case should be applied broadly throughout the country to make clear discrimination against religious practice isn't tolerated on the playground or anywhere else. The court also announced it will weigh in on another issue important to Christians and other people of faith this fall. The justices agreed to hear a case to consider whether a baker can refuse to make a wedding cake for a gay couple because he objects to same-sex marriage based on his Christian beliefs. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, the White House.
Well, the conservatives on the court seem to be emboldened. They're taking on more and more controversial cases. Past years, it seems they've wanted to duck them and not consider them, but they're taking them head on.